We got to do lists. Let's do a list.
Okay. Let's do
Here's
a
the
list.
You ready, Jerry?
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Okay. Here's a list of 10 movies that everyone else enjoyed except for Pauline Kael.
I thought you were going to say Pauly Shore first, but okay.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Should
I take it 10 through 1 or what?
Yeah,
I don't know
10
if they're
through 1.
ranked. How do you rank?
They're probably
this?
not ranked.
Okay, number 10. The movie Dean was just talking about earlier, Superman. Christopher Reeve, she said, is the best reason to see the picture. Overall, though, she says the film is disappointing, looking like it was made in a panic. It's cheesy looking, and the plot points are hit and miss. She attacks Donner, who she says offers little consistency between scenes. It looks as though each sequence might have had a different director and been color processed in a different lab.
I disagree.
I disagree, too. Oh, my God. I'm looking through the list. Oh, my God.
At least she got the Christopher Reeve part right.
Yes.
Look, there's no like wrong or right stuff with Christopher.
Oh, my God.
People need to realize that.
Number 9, Stand By Me.
That's a movie I've always been lukewarm to myself.
So great. I have Pauline Kael's son on our show. Okay. No, I'm joking with you, Dean. Actually, no, I can understand. I mean, I didn't see it in the theater. I saw it on videotape. That when it came on the videotape, I enjoy the movie very much. There's some really great parts of it. Let me see what. Although most critics applaud the 4 young actors' portrayal of good friend, Kael sees the relationship more as a support group, insisting that the film overdoses on sincerity and nostalgia. The only part
I think that's true.
And the only part she seems to enjoy is the story Gordy tells around the campfire about Lardass, which I will admit is the high point of the film. I think. I mean, one of the things you remember, especially at 45, when you're looking back at this film that you saw well over 30 years ago. Yeah, that is one of the standout sequences.
Yeah, but for all the wrong reasons. Just because it has a fat kid throwing up a lot. I mean, in people's faces.
I wish I would have done that when I was young. No, but we do have to say, I do think the film needs to be. It is a great performance from River Phoenix. I mean, I think when we talk about River Phoenix, this is certainly one of the movies we talk about.
Yeah, I've always just felt I do feel like it's just so self-consciously nostalgic. It is a memory piece, of course. So maybe that's the intent is to highlight that. But
that's kind of they tried to do this with Hearts of Atlantis. Remember, also in 2001, they tried that same device, and it didn't work as well. Not even in the same league, but they tried that same kind of nostalgia, and it doesn't work, and it worked better as a book than it did as a movie. I don't, that we only talk about the movie because it was released right after September 11th, and it was kind of, it pulled the heartstrings, but when you look back at it further, no, it's a very weak movie. There's no doubt about it.
Okay. So what's number 8?
Am I reading from the list now, or?
Yeah, go ahead. It's all yours.
Oh God, I got the list. Oh my God, I feel like I have the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, so let's see. All of them get Vertigo.
Oh.
Wow. I didn't know she had a thing against Vertigo.
Let me see. She viewed Hitchcock's motifs as indulgences, not intellectual or emotional echoes. And Bernard Herrmann's haunting score and Robert Burke's acclaimed cinematography had also no effect on her. Oh my! She found his films amateurish and didn't particularly care for the mechanical camera movements and effects he used. Although she did love Kim Novak's performance, though. But she found the film generally unintelligent. Jesus Christ! God damn it, Pauline.
That's a surprise, actually. But then again, I don't know. I mean, she likes Brian De Palma, but she doesn't like Hitchcock. So does she like De Palma because why would you like De Palma but not like Hitchcock?
I don't know, but let me say this about Pauline Kael. Just remember when Andrea Martin, remember she did a thing on Pauline Kael. On
Yes.
MTV. She said 99% of today's films can be flushed down the toilet.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Number 7. Oh my! You really want me to read this? Dirty Harry.
Yeah. Well, she thought Dirty Harry was a fascistic movie, so it kind of is.
Yeah.
but it's still a good movie.
It is a very good movie. But let's go. As a genre piece, Kael says that Dirty Harry works. But overall, it's not an accurate portrayal of the San Francisco police force, and it's an attack on liberalism. And I want to insert, no shit. Kael doesn't care for justified violence in films in general. With Dirty Harry, she insists that the violence has rarely been presented with such righteous relish. Her overview of the film is that it is deeply immoral one with manipulative skills and fascist potential.
Yes.
With Magnum Force, I'm surprised that's not on here. But
she was wholly unimpressed with Clint Eastwood. I mean, like, big time unimpressed with him. But she also said Straw Dogs was a fascist movie.
Oh yeah, no, I remember.
To which Peckinpah wrote her a letter because she was generally praising of Peckinpah. Mm-hmm. And Peckinpah engaged her. I mean, I think they had a decent relationship with one another.
Do we want to go to number 6?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, God. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, she didn't like that.
Okay. I'm just reading the parts where they tell what she didn't like about the film. The first paragraph is only the summary about the film for readers who are so stupid they have no idea what the movie is. But Kael tears Raiders of the Lost Ark apart by calling it a product of a machine tool marketing. She states there's no reality in the film, that everything is so cinematically dramatized that it's hard to take seriously. Indiana Jones makes the kind of bright-eyed entrance that is so intensely dramatic it's funny. That's from the review. Kael seems overwhelmed by the constant action in the film. It's too much for her. It's so thrill-packed that you don't have time to breathe. She does say that Raiders is beautifully made, but in order for it to work, it needs to slow down between action and sequences.
See, but this is a dichotomy too. She loved Temple of Doom, and Temple of Doom, you can't find a more action-packed movie than
I know.
a more exhausting action-packed movie. I will say this though: her main complaint about Raiders was how impersonal it was, which is one word that kind of encapsulates what you just read.
Yeah. Okay. We are at number 5. Oh my God. Oh Jesus Christ. Number 5, Raging Bull. Okay, let me read.
I gotta tell you, I'm fully with her on this one.
Jesus Christ, Jamie. E2, Jamie?
I've always said that. I know.
Although Kael admires De Niro's performance in the boxing ring scene, she's unimpressed with his incredible physical transformation and his shouting and violent moments with the other characters. The other characters repeat their vapid profanities, goading each other to dredge up some hostility. She insists that there is nothing underneath these scenes, no subtext. One of the things that made Raging Bull unique was its visual style, but Kael does not care for that either. She writes that the style is so hyper that you're aware of the art, which kills the tabloid effect.
Yeah, I disagree. But I don't understand. Where do you agree, Jamie? I mean,
she hated self-conscious art, artsy stuff.
But she loved Last Tango in Paris. It's just like what side of the bed she gets up in the morning.
I always admired Robert De Niro because he could put on the weight, but more importantly, he could lose it.
I agree with everything she says about not wanting to spend time with that person, and how I feel it's really pretentious to play this person as man with capital letters, as in some way they're saying something about the deepest layers of all men being Neanderthals like this.
See, I never got that from the movie.
Yeah, I feel it every time I try to watch it. And it's
really,
it's a
you
lot
feel
like
they're
Doors,
trying
too.
to make some overarching statement on masculinity and so forth. I just think it's a story about a guy that has a difficulty separating himself, his life in the ring from the life out of the ring. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's trying to say anything about humanity.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. I mean, from that first opening, it kind of sets the tone for it's a spiritual treatment of it, like much of what Scorsese does with every movie. I think he infuses too much depth in a person that has none. But the other movie I compare it to is The Doors. I don't want to spend 2 hours with that guy either. as he's portrayed in the movie.
That. No, I understand.
But I mean,
that.
there's tons of movies where you're spending 2 hours with a distasteful.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
you
is
know,
there anything else to this person? I mean, he seems like the biggest louse ever in history.
He is
that movie
gave
a big liquor distillers a lot of money.
He is
okay.
a big louse, but you know,
if they ever made an Oliver Reed biopic, I'd want to spend 5 hours with him.
I think he finds. I think the journey in Raging Bull is him trying to find some kind of peace, you know, outside of the ring, and eventually he does. So.
Yeah, and that transformation makes no fucking sense whatsoever. It's like, who is this guy? How is this guy in any way remotely related to the guy that we've just spent 2 hours with? Who's this stand-up wannabe comedian padded up in a nightclub? I mean, I understand the transition.
I mean, it happened.
Rocky, yeah. I mean, and we've aired an interview with a director, the guy that did Maniac.
Right.
Is his uncle, Jake LaMotta. It did happen, but it didn't make it palatable and believable to me in the movie.
Number four, and number 4 would make you and if Miss Kael was alive and younger, you would have been married by now. Casablanca.
Now, see, I love her for that because I've never been a huge fan of Casablanca either. I feel like it's a mess, and I think it has great lines in it. And I think, you know, there's a couple of really good performances in it. And, yes, those 2 stars look magnificent and everything like that. But I'm not, like, very concerned with who gets on the plane at the end or whatever. And I'm not very moved by it. And I am mystified by its continued
Sidney Greenstreet got on the plane wouldn't have taken off for crying out loud. I mean, my God. But, I mean, all right, let's read what she has to say. Although she doesn't despise Casablanca, she says it only works because the audience does not take over the romanticisms and the dramatic plot twist seriously. She does not seem to care for the character of Rick, played by Humphrey Bogart, who she insists fulfills the male fantasy of the rebellious hero who hates and defies officialdom. In the end, Kael gives in, saying that Casablanca works, but it is far from a great film.
I mean, I think it works fine. I mean, it obviously does. People love it, but I think it's like its whole story, which was you know constructed piecemeal, like day by day. You know, they didn't know what was going to happen in it. No, and I think the film shows that stress. Because I really get very confused about it. Like, well, okay, so what's going on now and what and everything like that. But it's okay because there's so many cool little lines in it. I mean, the movie has like so many great.
I feel the same way. I think it's a case of how a couple of great moments can define the success of the entire movie incorrectly.
Yes.
So you remember these moments, and then you go back and watch the movie, and all you have are those moments, and with the movie around it, that it doesn't quite work.
I'll be the underdog. I've seen the movie so many times, and watched so many times. It's kind of. I mean, I understand what you guys are saying, but I actually do think the film works. And having actually studied the film in school and everything, it does work. I mean, it works and it makes sense, and I think it's more than just a series of great lines and everything. But I mean, I'm so biased towards the film, I couldn't even, you know, at this point, it's so ingrained in my mind, you know, I just can't even
obviously
give a really...
you're not alone, man. You're
well, I'm not saying that. I'm not
we're the weirdos.
No, yeah, weirdos. But let's get the hell with. I mean, you know, play it again, Sam. Oh no.
I like Play It Again, Sam, better than Casablanca.
No, Play It Again. All right, number 3, which is not, number 3, let's not forget, was a dud the day it came out, a box office failure, a big box office failure when it was released. Number 3 is Blade Runner.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so what's her complaint against that?
All right. Once again, we got Kael loves the sets of Blade Runner. They are extraordinary, and they're lovingly, perhaps obsessively detailed. She loves the futuristic science fiction look the film offers, but that's all she likes. She insists that too much effort was put into the film, nor look of the film, and not the story. At some point, Scott and the others must have decided that the story was unimportant. Kael is particularly bothered by why there is no explanation for why the 2019 future is the way that it is and the boring characters in the movie. Actors Harrison Ford and Sean Young do not impress her, and she finds Rutger Hauer's performance ridiculous. In the end, she concludes that all the movie makers thinking must have gone into the sets. I'm glad she wasn't on the show when we interviewed Rutger Hauer. That's all I got to say.
Well, I don't... Well, it's interesting. I wonder if, first of all, I wonder which version she's reviewing. She's probably reviewing the one with the
original theatrical.
the original theatrical version. Mm-hmm. So in that case, she's completely right. She's absolutely right. That movie was too overblown and too film noir-y, particularly with all of that, narration.
Right. I don't mind. I'm in the minority here. I don't mind the voiceover narration because it adds to that whole. It basically, like when I remember we were watching it on videotape many times, and my dad would say, "This is just basically like a futuristic version of Sam Spade with the voiceover there." And I
understand that.
But Sam Spade would come up with like cute little, very interesting little bon mots and stuff, to say while he was doing his narration. His narration's valuable on that level. For me, there's no value in Ford's narration, and there's none of that humor or literary value or anything.
Let's be very honest.
It really just feels like he's just telling you what he's doing. Oh, now I'm going over here.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah.
I'm not going to argue with you guys there. What I will say, though, it is, Blade Runner, is a dud, and there's a reason why. It's a very cold film when the first time you watch it. It's a very cold film. It's not the kind of film that you warm up to at all. It takes time over the decades, and I think it's a mistake to make a sequel, personally, if you will. I think it's a huge mistake.
Well, I mean, first of all, let's face it, Blade Runner is still just a cult film. It really is just a cult film. I mean, if they're going to spend $200 million on this sequel, expecting it to get back, I don't think it's going to happen because, I mean, I think our idea of the film's success is very oddly twisted. I mean, it isn't. It's a movie that I think people love. I think Kael was right. That one of the things that the two aspects of it that people love the most are its sets and its special effects.
Yeah, the look.
I really think that's that. I mean, I think they love the score and stuff like that. And to really get into it on a sort of a human level, oddly, strangely enough, the most human character in it, which I think is by design, is the Rutger Hauer character, and I think that's the only gateway into humanity that we see in it.
Yeah.
Really.
Well,
I've always said that for me, Blade Runner plays like. I think the only thing alive in it is the visual aspect of it, and for me the movie plays, and maybe purposefully, plays like a replicant of a movie with feeling, like which maybe that's by design.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I would not make it. I mean, this is not it's a movie of its time. I think let's be honest, you're making a sequel to a cult film. I don't know what they're not thinking, but
I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm not the biggest Blade Runner fan, but I'm excited that Denis Villeneuve is directing it.
Yeah.
There are book sequels by K.W. Jeter that are, go on the basis that are sequels to the director's cut, that he's a replicant. That are
and Harrison Ford said that it's the best script he's ever read. So take that at whatever that's worth. He also, he did.
He said that about Random Hearts. He said it about Random Hearts. No, okay.
I said it about Random Hearts. That's funny.
Okay, number 2. Oh my God. Oh shit. A Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me.
It
Yeah.
doesn't surprise
she hates Kubrick.
You might as well pair that with number 1 as well, because they're both Kubrick movies.
They are.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kubrick. Okay, 2001 is number 1, and Clockwork Orange is number 2. Let's start with the Clockwork Orange. When violence is not justified in a film, Kael has no sympathy. She detests the pointless rape and violent scenes in The Clockwork Orange and seems upset at Stanley Kubrick for forcing the audience to like it. Kubrick is determined to be pornographic, and he has no talent for it. Kael says the picture plays with violence in a seductive way with absolutely no depth, and that Kubrick's use of the composition and classical music are ponderous techniques. The one thing about A Clockwork Orange Kael does seem to enjoy is the performance by Malcolm McDowell as Alex. However, she insists all the other performances are terrible.
She's so hooked into performance. I think that's what she really loves about movies is acting, watching actors act. And she has. Sometimes I think that she has absolutely no concern for the rest of filmmaking. I don't care how good fuck all the rest of it. If the acting is, all that's all I care about. And that's not all I care about in a movie.
No, of course not. No.
I want a movie to take me to another place. I think that's the number one thing I want for movies. And they don't have to be fantastical places. They can be some neighbor's bedroom down the street. I mean, it could be something like that, or whatever, or living room or whatever.
Is there a neighbor's bedroom down the street that you want to go to? I mean,
I'm just interested in other places. Should
I move down to Atlanta right now? I mean, is there something
somebody's dining room, or it can be a spaceship, or whatever it is.
To be fair, I mean, she spends the vast majority of these reviews criticizing the direction. The director. I mean, both of these reviews are Kubrick-centric.
Well, he's definitely author theory.
And she never liked him.
She hated him.
But it does seem to me that a movie that is very flashy, like Raging Bull, or a movie, or these are all kind of movies that are very visually flashy, and she doesn't give them and transportative, and she doesn't give them any credit on that level. And I just sometimes, honestly, I really never read her for any kind of opinions, really, to help bolster my own opinion or anything. I find her wordplay interesting, fascinating to read, and I think that she's bold in her opinions. But I find them confounding.
I've always loved her, and like a lot of.
But you're not confounded by her opinions sometimes.
Yes, and that's a big reason why I love. I think she backs up her opinions fine, and I think she defends her point of view just fine.
Right. But then you go a week later and she watches some other movie and gives it a pass for the same shit that she kills another movie for. So it's like, that's why I think it's like, what side of the bed she gets up on in the morning.
I think a lot of it has to do with the directors. I think a lot of it has to do with, much like somebody like Armand White, he's not going to like a movie directed by, what's his name, Noah Baumbach, which I hope he reviews the new De Palma documentary, because that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, I can't wait to read
that is.
Do you want me to read 2001, what you said about 2001, or...
The main thing with 2001 is she always referred to it as a terribly unimaginative movie, which is the most jaw-dropping
and the biggest
thing she's
amateur
ever
movie of all time.
Yeah, monumentally unimaginative is the exact phrase.
I mean, I give her credit for like having bold opinions and everything, and being very entertaining to read. But she makes me tear my hair out.